Gareth Kane and welcome to Ask Gareth. The idea here is very simple. You ask me questions about corporate social responsibility or sustainability and I answer them. The clue's in the name. And the question this time comes from a guy called Tim who I met at a conference. And Tim approached me after my presentation and he said, "Gareth, how do you get involved in sustainability? I'm a biologist and I'd like to move into sustainability but I don't know how to make the leap across." Well, Tim, I'm an engineer by qualification and I'll tell you now how I did it. Because when I did an engineering degree, if you talked about environmental engineering or anything of the ilk, it meant designing sewage treatment works, which wasn't quite what I was interested in. So instead, I had on one side my sort of professional studies, my engineering course, and on the other side I started developing recycling schemes and carried out an energy audit at the college I was in. So the two were very important to me, but they led parallel lives. And then a couple of years later, a story that's too long to tell here, I ended up teaching English for a few months in the far north of Russia. And one day I visited this place, Monchegorsk. And if I turned 360 degrees round from where I took this picture, there was nothing living at all. All the forest that should have been there was gone. And instead we had this dead, shaly, grey soil just everywhere, 360 degrees for miles and miles. And the reason is that big cloud you can see is actually a cloud of acid rain, and it's coming from the chimneys down there in the smelter that you can just see on the horizon. Now, this was my road to Damascus moment. The impact of witnessing this destruction just hit me right in the chest. And I swore there and then that this is what I was going to do for the rest of my life, was to stop problems like this happening. But there was a sort of secondary realisation, which was the problem wasn't the damage that I could see, the problem was the smelter. And that was a piece of engineering, and I'm an engineer. So when I got home, I started to look for jobs that I could do in engineering to prevent pollution happening at source. And lo and behold, I got a job as a research associate at the Engineering Design Centre on a Design for Sustainability project, and my whole career spun off from then. So that's sort of my story in brief, but I'd like to pull three sort of major points out that will help Tim and other people looking to make the same jump. First of all, it is a very competitive jobs market. People want to do the right thing, loads of people want to work in sustainability, which is a good thing, but you will find the market crowded out. And universities now, unlike my day, are now pumping out lots of people with master's degree in various sustainability related subjects. Secondly, sustainability is a very broad church and probably broader than you expect. There are lots and lots of specialised niches. For example, a lot of law firms now have specialist renewable energy teams, and all they work on day in, day out is getting all the contracts and permits sorted for wind farms and things like that. So the job market may be superficially crowded, as I said, but it's so broad, the perfect opportunity for you may not be very obvious at first, and you may have to spend some time looking at it. The third point I'd like to make is it's easier to learn sustainability than it is to learn biology or engineering or law or any of those massive topics. And this is where you have an advantage of somebody over somebody with a generic degree. And this is what I did by moving into an engineering department. I sort of brought engineering to sustainability rather than trying to bring sustainability into business or engineering. And that worked very, very well for me. And biology, masses and masses of opportunities. Everything from anaerobic digestion of waste through to all the high-tech work going on with developing strains of algae that will produce biodiesel out of atmospheric carbon dioxide. Very exciting stuff like that. So there's masses and masses of opportunity there, but you have to look for it. So the triple bottom line here, what I'm really getting at is to move into sustainability, you need to find the sweet spot where your current skills overlap with sustainability. And that's where you should start. Okay, Tim, I hope that answers your question. Everybody else, I hope this is food for thought for you. If you have any comments, what are your own experiences? Do you have any other hints and tips for Tim or people like Tim in a similar situation? Please add them in below the video here. And if you enjoyed or benefited from this video, then please do share it with your networks. And to make sure that you don't miss any future edition of Ask Gareth, make sure you go to www.terrainfirma.co.uk and sign up to the Low Carbon Agenda, my monthly newsletter, and you will get this and a huge amount more in your inbox every month. And remember, whether you're making tiny incremental improvements in the environmental performance of your organisation or facilitating a massive step change, it all counts. You're making the world a better place and you should be proud of that. Till next time, goodbye.